Good afternoon, everyone. I am Toby, the Kilted Adventurer, trying something a little bit different this afternoon. Really, this is just an excuse for me to dip my toe into the water of live streaming. I wanted to get ready for a couple of upcoming live streams that I have. So, before we jump into the hiking trivia, courtesy of the Ultimate Hiking Quiz from HowStuffWorks.com, just wanted to tell you about those upcoming live streams and also some additional content that I'll be releasing soon as a preview for those of you who were able to join me this afternoon. The first upcoming live stream that I have, I will be interviewing my friend Kurt Moose from Moose Ministries. You've seen him on several videos if you've been watching this channel for any length of time. I'm actually on the board of Moose Ministries, and he has an upcoming trip to Colombia. Uh, don't want to steal the thunder from the actual interview, but the purpose of this trip is to help fight human trafficking. So we're going to try to do that in the next couple of weeks or so. I hope everyone is able to join that, learn more about that cause, and if there's any way that you can help out, certainly do so. I mentioned that I have done another live stream in the past. That was with my good friend Bill Marion at A Nose for Life. We talked last December, January, that time frame, about how to grow on YouTube. Bill has a great travel channel, 12,000 members. So what we're going to do this time is talk about some more advanced topics. A couple other things I've got coming up for those of you who click that bell and know the notifications that you get automatically from YouTube. We'll be taking you to Bluffview Art District tomorrow. It's a really cool area with a lot of historic buildings and art in downtown Chattanooga. So stay tuned for that. A couple other episodes are in the queue. One is Benton Falls in the Chilhowie National Forest. Got some fantastic overviews there. Also, you get the chance to see Benton Falls. And even though it's summer, there's still some pretty good volume. And I got there early enough. I had the whole waterfall to myself for about 45 minutes. So there's some pretty good shenanigans. And then finally, the next one I have in the queue after that will be going out on the bodies of water around Saudi Daisy, Tennessee, including some time on the boat. So look forward to that. We will start the ultimate hiking quiz now. So in the United States, how many people per year engage in hiking activities? The potential answers, and I'm going to be playing along with you. I don't know the answers. Hey, Gary, thanks for joining today. Having a little fun. We're doing a hiking trivia. Just getting ready to do some actual live streams, one with your friend Bill in a couple weeks, another with a friend Kirk that you've met before. So I'm testing out the technology. Let's see. How do I pin your comment here? Look at there. It says, hello, Toby. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. All right, so question number one. Feel free to participate in the chat. How many people per year engage in hiking activities in the United States? The answers are 2 million, 20 million, or 200 million. What is your guess? My guess, again, I don't know the answers. My guess is going to be 2 million. So we have 2, 20, or 200. Wait just a moment. We got 2 or 3 joining now. Gary is on. The answers potentially for how many people per year engage in hiking activities in the United States. Gary says 200. So Gary's an optimist. I'm probably being a little bit pessimistic. However, based on my recent trip down to Georgia, Gary's probably right. So let's see what the answer is. The answer is 20 million. More than 20 million people visit national parks each year to enjoy a hike. Now, that says national parks, so I'm going to call a little bit of baloney on that. I think the answer is probably higher than that because of all the 50 or 60 hiking videos I've done on this channel, none of them have been in a national park. I've been in a national forest a few times. So we'll give the prize to Gary on that one. the prize is participating. All right. Let's see what the next question is. Before you take your first hike, you should make sure you walk or can walk how far? Potential answers are 1 mile, 5 miles, or 10 miles. So you got 1, 5, or 10. Got a pretty strong opinion on this one. I think a lot of it depends on the type of trails we're talking about. Before you can take your first hike, you should be able to walk 1 mile, 5 miles, or 10 miles. I'm going to guess 1 mile. The answer is 5 miles. So according to the experts, hiking is not really for beginners. Make sure you can handle 4 or 5 miles walking before you take a hike. Gary said 5 miles. So Gary, you got that one right. Now I will say there are some hikes that I have taken people who aren't regular hikers on. For instance, Glen Falls here in Chattanooga. Ben and Angie from Build an Adventure came. That was a half mile in. We saw a fantastic waterfall, and it was a half mile bike back. They took their kids. There's a lot of animals on that trail, so maybe 5 miles for some of the more moderate or rigorous trails. But anyway, Gary and the experts agree, 5 miles. Next question. Once you can handle a 5-mile walk, what's the next step? Should you take a hike, work your way up to walking 10 miles, or train your legs to handle hilly terrain? So are you ready for that hike? Should you start walking 10 miles, or should you get into some weightlifting with your legs? Silly question. For those of us joining, we are doing a hiking trivia to celebrate 600 subscribers on this channel. I am playing along with you. I don't know the answers. We will say once you've walked 5 miles, I'm going to say it's time to take a hike. I'm wrong again. It says once you've trained yourself to handle a 5-mile walk, you should train yourself to handle hilly terrain. All right, these folks must live in flat territory. Gary says walk 10 miles. Yeah, I'm with you, Gary. Or if you walk in my neighborhood or anywhere in East Tennessee, you're going to be used to walking in hilly terrain. So once again, experts, 0. Gary, Kilted Adventurer, 1. Next question. How many calories do you burn on average when hiking? Oh, I can't. Yeah, let's see. There it is. How many calories per average do you burn when hiking? There's a lot of variables here. The potential answers are 100, 200, or 300. How many calories do you burn on average when taking a hike? So you've got terrain, you've got temperature variations. I burn a lot more calories in the summer. You got number of miles. So I'm not sure what the variables are here. Gary's going to guess 300. I'm also going to guess 300. We finally got one right. Hiking at a normal pace burns approximately 300 calories per hour. They should have said per hour. It is a great form of exercise. I will absolutely agree with that. I don't see an answer for this one that I would like, but it's okay. What is the best way to dress for hiking? You got 1, a suit and tie. 2, several thin layers, including maybe a kilt. Or 3, jeans and a t-shirt. So should you wear a suit and tie, several thin layers, or jeans and a t-shirt? I'm going to vote D, a kilt. The answer is several thin layers. So as you hike, your body temperature will rise. That's true. And it will fall. That's true as well if you take a rest or put your feet in the stream or slow down. Having several layers allows you to adjust without too much difficulty. I think that's more true in the winter. I have said that winter hikes are my favorite. It's certainly easier to take layers off than to add layers. Gary also says layers. Gary, appreciate you hanging out with me. This was an unannounced live stream. Again, mostly just having a little bit of fun celebrating 600 subscribers and getting ready for my big live streams coming up with Bill as well as with Mr. Kirk. All right, keeping right along. Which of these is essential when hiking? A first aid kit, a cell phone, or a camera? So which of these is, thank you, Gary. He says he loves my videos. I appreciate that, Gary. I really appreciate you watching and commenting on a regular basis. And I appreciate everybody who watches videos. So what's essential when hiking? A first aid kit, a camera, or a cell phone? I am going to guess a first aid kit. Now, if you're a YouTube content creator, you need a camera. But I wouldn't call that essential. You just won't be able to share your adventures with everybody. Everyone says that a cell phone is like a Swiss Army knife, and that works great unless you are in a ravine like at Possum Creek. So let's say first aid kit. Never go on a serious hike without a first aid kit. Accidents do happen, and on a hike, you can easily be miles from the nearest town. Absolutely true. I will also say for safety, you need to let people know where you're going. So always do that ahead of time and bring a paper map. That way, if you don't have cell service or you can't pull it up on all trails, even the offline version because battery might die, you at least have a paper map. What is the maximum amount of weight you should carry when hiking? 25, 50, or 75 pounds? We'll go 25, 50, or 75. Gary, you're right. You always don't have cell service. I frequently don't have cell service in these parts. Heck, sometimes I don't have it in my own house. But certainly when you are down in a ravine 200 or 300 feet or even 1,000 feet, like on Lookout Mountain, you're not always going to have cell service. So the question is, what is the maximum amount of weight you should carry when hiking? I am going to guess 25 pounds. The experts agree. You will be tempted to bring everything but the kitchen sink when you're on a hike. But research has shown when you carry more than 25 pounds, it is bad for your shoulders, back, and knees. Okay, well, if the experts say it, I guess it's true. I haven't done an overnight hike in a long time. I do day hikes, but I know the folks that do overnight hiking, they like to go light. Why should you avoid drinking water directly from streams? The potential answers are the stream water is full of snake venom. Stream water often tastes bad. Or stream water could be full of parasites and bacteria. So that's just a silly question. We all know that stream water is full of parasites and bacteria. I did a recent review of a water bottle. As a follow-up to that, I've been having a little bit of trouble since I've used it a few times, drawing from it. I think I probably need to clean it out a little bit. It's been really hot, so I've been trying to carry more water. But anyway, that's the reason, not because of snake venom, even though we do have copperheads and rattlesnakes here in East Tennessee. And actually, the stream water tastes really good, but it's got some nasties in it. So you got to make careful that you are being safe there. Next question. What should you do to treat water for the bacteria and the parasites? You can boil the water. Anybody was a Boy Scout might know this one. Mix the water with strong alcohol or let the water settle overnight and drink only the top layer. Yep, Gary, you're right. There are bacteria, bugs, and dead animal juice. Also, live animal juice. I think animals like to go to the bathroom, and sometimes people too. So that ends up in the water. So, do you boil the water, mix it with strong alcohol, or let it settle overnight? You should, at the very least, boil any water you intend to drink. They do have a lot of really cool filters now. The higher dollar ones actually have UV light that they use to zap it, also. Um, Really better to pack the water you're going to take in, but bringing bottled water can be very heavy. So if you need to boil it or use a filter, that's part of it as well. How long should you boil water to kill off organisms? 1 minute, 1 hour, or 1 day? Hmm. I do not remember the answer to this. I was Royal Ranger of the Year as a kid. That's a type of uh, back backpacking organization that's associated with some local churches, but I don't remember the answer. So the question of today: how long should you boil water to kill off any organisms? 1 minute, 1 hour, or 1 day? Welcome to all who have recently joined. We're doing a hiking trivia. For those who are joining late, I don't know the answers to this, but I would love to hear from you. So, for water safety, how long should you boil water? 1 minute, 1 hour, or not one water, 1 day. I don't think an hour is the wrong answer, Gary. I think you probably got that one right. I know it's not a day. Uh, I think it is an hour. Well, let's see. I'm going to go with Gary and say an hour. Well, bud, we got it wrong. So you and I would have been working real hard. It says you don't have to boil the water very long. 1 minute or so will do the trick. I'm going to go with 5 minutes. I don't think a minute's long enough. That's just, I don't know. They haven't seen some of the water around East Tennessee lately. So we missed that one, my friend. All right, got a couple more of these. All right, I don't even agree with this at all. Why is it important to cover as much of your body as possible when hiking? The experts say you could get very cold when hiking. We've talked about that before. You want to avoid catching poison, ivy, and oak. Well, yes, you certainly do. So you got to know your trails, especially in the summer. Our hikers often get bitten by snakes. I wouldn't say often, but that does happen, and I don't think clothing is going to protect you. So let's pick between very cold when hiking or avoid catching poison ivy. Why would you want to wear as much clothing as possible? I don't agree with the premise, but I'm playing along too. So let's go with poison ivy, which I've gotten twice this year already. Wait just a moment to see if anybody else has any thoughts on this. It can get very cold when hiking. We've talked about layers. And the answer is poison ivy and poison oak. The outdoors are full of poisonous plants. I would say stay on trail as much as possible. Know what your trails are, how well maintained they are. You're going to want to stay to a little bit busier trails and not some of them. Some of them that are around these parts that are really bad maintained. Up on Signal Mountain, that's maintained by the municipality. So if you take the big loop up there, you're going to get poison ivy. Another lesser trail up here is just north of Bakewell and Sail Creek, just south of, let's see. Well, I've forgotten the name of that, but it's part of the Cumberland Trail. So you want to avoid that as well. Gary says bug bites. Yeah, I got ate up the other night, Gary. I've got to admit, I got out, got a lot of mosquito bites. That is definitely part of it. All right, two more, and then we're going to call this a successful live stream. What are the oils from plants such as poison ivy? Where are they going to collect? Are they going to collect on your boots, your pants, or your hands? We'll go with boots. That's my guess. your boots. Covering your body and wearing boots will prevent you from getting poison ivy when you're hiking. Make sure you take your boots off as you might anyway. All right, last question for today. Which of these diseases can you contract from a tick bite? Possible answers are cancer, heart disease, or Lyme disease. Tick bite can cause cancer, heart disease, or Lyme disease. I'm going with Lyme disease. Ticks often carry Lyme disease, which is why you should do everything in your power to avoid getting bit by a tick bite. All right, well, thanks again for playing with me today. This was unannounced, again, mainly just to test live streaming capabilities. I will be having 2 live streams in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned to that. One will be with Kurt Moose. We'll be talking about an upcoming trip he has to Columbia, South Carolina, to help with the plight of human trafficking. Also, we'll be talking with Bill Marion at A Nose for Life, making advanced conversation and advanced topics on how to grow on YouTube in 2022. Make sure when you're watching this later to give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. And as always, seek adventure.